Welcome back. It is Monday morning and there's plenty to do today. So first of all, we're going to get a look at that 160 for an EGR fault, and then there is a 225 to get a look at too. So plenty to do here. It's a really nice morning. It's only 4 degrees, but at least it's not raining. So we'll get on and have a look. I put my laptop on and there's 3 codes that have been stored. I've run it for about 10 minutes there and there's nothing popped up, so it's definitely an intermittent fault. But with the way the EGR system works, it might be that it might not become active for 20 minutes, half an hour while the machine warms up. So I'm just going to have a look at the wiring. With it looking like an intermittent fault, it could be a wiring fault, but the codes are relating to the 5-volt signal either being too high or too low, and the EGR valve not responding. The EGR valve, its job is to, EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation, and its job is to recirculate the exhaust gas back into the inlet side of the engine, so the engine's not necessarily breathing fresh air or taking in fresh air all the time. There is a certain percentage of it that will go back through the engine, so it's sort of recycling its waste gas. So the EGR valve basically controls how much exhaust gas that the machine's recirculating. So right, so I've checked my wiring from the ECU plug, which is away down underneath that rail there. Really bad to get at. But anyway, I've checked the wiring to the plugs here. I've got continuity through all my pins. I've also unplugged it, and between 1 and 2 I've checked for my 5-volt signal. And that's all good. I'll give the wiring a good wobble around as well, make sure I haven't got a bad wire, but I can't honestly get it to lose connection. So there could be a fault in this short piece of harness here or inside the EGR motor itself. So I'm going to replace this and I'm going to run it up to speed, get it nice and hot, and just make sure that everything's alright. There was also a stored fault for the EGR temp sensor, and that is this wire here, which I've repaired. There was the wire had broken in the pin going into the plug, so I've just joined it up because there's plenty of wire. This is the EGR valve, and the way it works essentially is you've got a motor here that turns a screw which opens and closes this. So at the moment you can see it's shut, and as you open it, this will extend out the way and allow exhaust gas to go through this gap here, through here, and it'll go through into the inlet manifold. Right, I'm going to leave that digger running now with the new EGR valve in, and I can keep an eye on that for any faults coming back, and I'll get a look at this 225 now with the problem with the heating in the cab. So I'll join you in the cab when I've got it stripped out. Right, so I've been having a look at this heater fault in this 225. The driver was complaining that it wasn't getting particularly warm in the cab, and to be fair, when you turn the temperature right up, after about 15 minutes it should be uncomfortably warm. So anyway, this actuator here is what it turns it moves this there's this door here inside the heater module. This piece here is where your heater matrix is, and it basically diverts the airflow either through the heater matrix or not, basically, and it sort of moves to the temperature that you set it to. So anyway, when I took all this apart, I found that this actuator wasn't working correctly. So again, it's probably got a potentiometer in it that isn't reading right. So if you turned the temperature up, it'd go to full temp and then it'd back off to about half temp. So I'll replace this and we'll put it back together. So you'll see if I turn the temperature down in the cab, you'll see it starts to close this gate. And turn the temperature back up, and it opens the gate, or shuts the, opens the gate fully to allow all the air to go through the heater matrix. That's both those machines back together. The EGR fault didn't seem to come back on that machine. I did work it again for another 20 minutes just because if there was a problem with wire or anything, generally the vibrations of working the machine can sort of force a fault code to come on. So I did work it for 20 minutes and nothing seemed to come back with that. And we got that cab back together, nice and toasty in there, so good job, well done. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and any questions leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you. And yeah, have a good evening and we'll see you in the next one.